It's rolling. Well, welcome, guys, to the Art Business Workshop Saturday morning edition. My name is Patrick. I run the marketing department here. We're also joined today by Joseph Vasquez, who runs the outreach department, and we also have our CEO, Nick Friend, on, and we're looking forward to some lively discussion. So the game plan for today, I think we'll have Joseph do kind of like a quick high level demo, kind of give you a test drive, as it were, of the software, some of the features, and then we'll probably rant a little bit on some topics and tactics to help you guys grow your art businesses, and then we turn it over to Q&A, which is the always the best part of these. Um, I always say on these things on a regular basis, we've been running as a company essentially 3 of these things a week for a little bit over a year since before the pandemic hit. And I mean, I'm not sure that there's a human being on the planet that talks to more artists and photographers on a week in, week out basis than I do. You couple that with Joseph, who's on the phones, and pattern recognition becomes a real thing. Like, we have talked to so many artists, so many photographers, heard about every single solitary scenario, and then when you pair that with the fact that we have going on, I think like 5,500 customers now, and we pretty intently study their data. And we look at our most successful customers, who's selling the most originals, who's selling the most commissions, who's selling the most prints, who's selling the most expensive pieces, who's the best at Instagram, who's the best at Facebook, who's capturing the most emails, what traffic sources are they using to do that. And when you put that all together, I feel like we have a pretty unique read on what people are actually doing to make money in this industry and grow successful businesses. So we can speak with authority on quite a few marketing techniques and tactics. But Joseph, I think introduce yourself, and then you can jump right into the demo. And as the demo is running along, you guys, there is a chat button at the bottom of Zoom, and we can see that, and we'll be answering that as we roll along. And then also too, we'll end up running through and sharing quite a bit of links as this thing rolls along. We'll throw those links in the chat, and then in addition to that, we will also send you an email afterwards of a replay of this whole thing with all the links that we mentioned and everything that we're talking about. So you don't necessarily have to take notes or anything like that. But over to you, Joseph.
Good morning, everybody. I wanted to, just kind of, like Pat said, high level overview with a little bit of visuals so you guys get a better understanding of just what we offer. Aside from that, before we hear from you, which we love to do. So let me show you my screen real quick. All right. So again, we are comprised of a couple different parts. We're all in one business solution for artists and photographers, essentially, and couple different parts that make that up. But one really important thing to always kind of clarify, we're not a marketplace. So this isn't going to be, you're not seeing tools and a store that is 100,000 plus people with you and all these other photographers right next to you, or artists as well. It's just a needle in a haystack sort of deal. We want to help you have your own store or gallery, so to speak, with just your work and your art. So not a marketplace, more like this is your store. You get to actually know your buyers and collectors and build those relationships, which is really rewarding as well in the long run and fun too. But so lots of different templates. So first we'll start, we do provide you with like a website that's specifically built for selling art. Um, for photographers, like I said, it's for art as well, both different templates. So make it look and feel how you'd like. You know, everybody has a different style a little bit, put your spin on it. But when you get into the buying experience, you're really going to see the whole thing is clean gallery, minimalistic on purpose, and built for selling art. So open editions, limited editions, originals, you can sell sculpture, any other products, merchandise, you can sell everything through the store. But with the buying experience, when you get into like prints, for example, people can see the different medias that you're offering, read what they are, actually watch a video of what it's going to look like being merchandised. When they click on these, the canvas shows, depth, the paper shows trim, really going to let people see what they're buying, because not everybody knows the difference in these like we would. And so, we can take that for granted sometimes, but we'll let them really see what they're buying. Then they can pick a size. This actually populates the sizes for you. So that's really nice for you on the setup aspect of it. And then frames as well. So people can come in, try different frames on, read what they are, and then easily purchase and check out. With prints, we also do have a print on demand feature, so we can have a lab just print, frame, and ship it all automatically. No need to carry inventory or anything like that. So it's really, really nice. Of course, you can sell limited editions, open editions, your originals, space for romance description. Really want to talk about the originals and showcase uh, both limited edition and originals when you're doing those higher price point type pieces. Really nice to show off how, the back, how it hangs, the depth, texture of the work or the print. You can even have gifts of you signing and creating it. Again, we really want to show people the value and detail going into these and why they carry the price points that they're going to have. Other features that help with those kind of things, we do have wall preview tools, of course, so people can get size and scale. A lot of times someone might see a piece and think, why is that thousands of dollars? And then they pop this guy open and go, oh, that's why it's huge, right? And a lot of people don't always get that when they just see a number or size. But if it's a print, also they have all the different options here and different wall colors. And these aren't random; they're the top selling colors from Sherman-Williams and Benjamin Moore. And then, of course, we have our live room preview. That's the augmented reality. So this little GIF will kind of give you guys a visual for that. When they hit that button, it prompts them to pull up their camera. Then they can actually see your art live on their wall in their home. Actually try it in the space where they're looking to put it. If it's a print, change the size, make sure they're getting the right size piece for the spot. That's a problem I hear a lot from photographers. Someone, you're trying to tell them, hey, that's not as big as you think it's going to be. That this really helps convey that for your buyers and give them a good experience. And so just premium buying experience. Carts here, when they check out, we do set you up with a merchant companies, so they're going to process the money and then send it to you. We don't hold your money for any amount of time. Again, we're not like a marketplace, it's your store, so they're going to process that, send it right to you. So that's just a light idea of some of the buying experience there. On the back end too, another really nice thing I like to show, it is little bit of a drag and droppy type setup. You don't need to know like advanced coding or anything crazy like that to get a store up and running. So I always like to show how you upload an image. So you can see the add a product here, you can drag and drop it like I'll show you. And you'll actually go ahead and just upload the piece that like for a print that the printer would print from. And then here it's going to analyze that and do some work for you. So it's going to go ahead and analyze like the aspect ratio of your art and go ahead and auto populate all the sizes that would be available as a fine art print. So you're going to have to figure out those numbers on your own, which is a lot of work and tedious. And it's not going to let you off anything bigger than the file supports there, which is really nice. And the other great thing here, you can control it. So any size you don't want to offer, just delete it and hit save and it's gone. But all these sizes become available for all the medias that you're offering, like metal, paper, canvas, acrylic, with the frames, like all of that work is done, which is a beautiful thing. A lot of people, if you were going to offer multiple things on like a generic website, if you do metal, paper, canvas, and this is like 10 sizes, you're going to have to make 30 products. It's a nightmare. So this more just built for what you're doing. So it's a lot nicer and easier there. Also, you control the media. So anything you don't want to offer, just turn it off, hit save, and they'll disappear off of here. So you control all of that as well. So really, really nice, pretty simple setup there, but we have a lot of support to guide you through the way. So I always like to just talk about that because it's a popular question. We have lots of workshops in these live support sessions where you can come in if you need technical support, get some help. It's like us talking right now. You can go in there, raise your hand, ask a question, get some help when you're working on your store. So really, really great support. And we also have a guide that just kind of walks you through the full recommended setup. So you're not having to guess what that should look like. We'll tell you, hey, like Pat said, a lot of data and analytics, we know what the recommended setup should be for like you to optimize your sales. So we'll give you all that laid out. But so yeah, come on board. We got all these beautiful features and a great store. But the other big problem we always never want to not mention is now you got to get people in your store, right? You got a marketing problem. How are we going to get eyes on my art? How am I going to get exposure? So we want to help with that too. So that's the other big part of this is we have a art marketing calendar that actually walks you through day by day what you can do to get your art in front of more people, and based on what we see working. So it's literally like this is May wrapping up, of course, we're towards the end here, But you'll notice just day by day when to send out emails, how to grow emails. There, a lot of our clients are running like a flash sale for Memorial Day to take advantage of what's going on right now. But just to kind of give you an idea, like lead generation Tuesdays, here's how to build more email addresses. This is the number one tactic we see working right now. You'll see that in the playbook. So you can execute on that. And then if you have more time, some other things that you can try to build up that email list, because that's something you want to always be growing. Want to help you be posting on your social medias. This gives you exactly what to do there and different tactics. And it's just day by day. As you grow the email list, none of our clients write emails. We already have templates pre-written for you. You just fill in your name, your information, send it out. It's awesome. We do have workshops, just like we're doing right now, for members only that we run throughout the week, where you can go in there. Different heads of our company and our marketing team are in there answering questions, giving feedback. So when you're stuck with the business, you can get help. In addition to that, we have launched our Art Business University. So this is up and running now. I can always cover pricing and stuff in a little bit, but included in your membership is our university right now and all the courses. So we have over 40 courses, and just more things you can learn. So in here, just kind of scroll, you'll notice we have playbooks. Like Father's Day is coming up. That'll be a great time to pick some art, run a sale for that. And this is going to have a playbook and it just laid out for you exactly what to do, like how to do more advanced marketing. Here's how to start with, like, if you've never done MailChimp, how to run a successful art show. So we have over 40 courses, and they are all included right now with your membership. And then in addition to that, so workshops when you get stuck, we also have a private community. In here, thousands of other photographers and artists are in here helping each other with their experience. If you've run into a problem with growing your art or maybe shipping an original, lots of different questions and things that, a lot of times you're alone. In here, there's thousands of other people who have done these things. So you can come in, ask some questions, get some guidance, kind of skip to the answers. You don't have to stumble and fall on your own. It's just great because you can get mentorship in the workshops. And then also here, you have a whole community of peers to get advice and guidance and help from. So you're just not alone. You're not trying to build a marketing plan. You're not trying to figure out problems on your own. You're not trying to make a website work to sell art when it wasn't built to do that. Here, we've just kind of put all that together in one big package for you. So hopefully that just gives you a little bit more visuals and kind of a light overview. There's more details in that. And obviously we'll answer any questions. If this is something you guys do want to look at more in depth, just so you know, we do at the top of the hour at 12 have a larger demonstration going through that's more thorough. We'll really go through all the features and explain details and things. So everybody's invited to that as well. You can always just shoot me or email, and I can always get you an invite to that as well. But yeah, other than that, I'll hand it back to Pat here.
Awesome. Thank you, Joseph. So we'll get into the Q&A in just a second. And, and if you guys sent questions via email, like Joan, I saw your questions via email, answer them. Our software is the best on the internet in terms of selling art or photography. And is the software awesome? Yeah, it is. Is it going to fundamentally change any of your businesses? Meaning, any of you on this call, do you have a website problem? No, none of you have a website problem. You can't even have a website problem until you fix the attention problem. Meaning, if, I'm the genie in the lamp and I just came out and I will take your website right now and move it on any platform you want. You won't have to touch a thing. Your business is not going to fundamentally change because you all have an attention problem. Every person on this call has an attention and a marketing problem. You do not have enough eyeballs for your art, for your photography, and that's the primary problem that we need to solve. And so what differentiates us more so than any other outfit out there is we teach you how to solve the attention problem. We teach you how to market, right? And it's funny because we always get pigeonholed as like, oh, you're a website company, and we get compared to all the rest of the website companies. And it's quite a bit. It's nothing could be further from the truth. Essentially, there's 3 ways to sell art or photography. Okay, and if you want to build a successful art or photography business, you need to be deploying all 3. Okay, all 3 when the time comes for each. Excuse me. The number 1 way to sell art, trick question, in person, face to face. Always has been, always will be. That's not going to change. If you have the ability to sell your product face to face, meeting someone, you always want to leverage that. Obviously, problem You, me, Joseph, we are all geographically fixed on this earth, and we have to sleep, and we can't have 15 conversations at the same time unless you're my wife. So we need a website, right? The website solves for those solutions, right? When people can just come and passively and check everything out. The third way to sell art, which is, to be honest with you, the most interesting thing that has happened in this industry in the last 50 years by far, is exactly what we're doing right now. Leveraging live video in either a one-to-one fashion or a one-to-many fashion. A one-to-one fashion, I come to Jennifer's website, I'm looking at some of her art. This is awesome. I'm like, Jennifer, I would love to jump on a Zoom call with you. Can we schedule that? I want you to show me a couple of pieces and talk about them. That is insanely powerful. The other iteration of it is one to many. And so this concept of a live art show. And it is amazing, right? So we've shipped probably at this point, I would say, I don't even know, 50 or 60 of these things. And in this instance, you've got a painter in Canada in his garage studio holding up some of his pieces. He is streaming live to Instagram, to Facebook, to YouTube, and he's selling his art. In this particular
Hey,
case,
Patrick.
yeah.
Patrick, you've got the Zoom window
Oh, yeah, yeah,
blocking
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
the live art show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
So I'm gonna get myself out of this too, so I can show you guys. So there he is, and there's some tradecraft and there's some interesting techniques. But this particular gentleman, he sold 60 pieces for a little over 30,000 Canadian in a span of 15 days, and all of that without leaving his garage. And we have done so many different iterations of this. It's like the one thing I'm the most proud about more than anything else. Not only can you just do a random show anywhere, but what if you actually have the gallery show? Okay. And you're in a gallery, normal gallery show, as this gentleman did in the height of COVID, no less, and not that many people could come to the show. So what happened? The show ended. The next day, we turned the cameras on. He walked through his show. He was interacting with fans and potential customers live because they were leaving comments, and the thing got streamed and went out on the internet. So, what we do as a company is we discover these new techniques to sell art, and then we go all in on them. And so this particular gentleman had so much success, we're like, let's see if we can repeat it. So we ran another one, right? And in this instance, this is an artist in Kansas City. And don't worry, I'm going to send you links to all of these after the fact so you can watch them.
From
And she did the
and
exact same thing. And in this case, she was moving from one studio to another, and so she had a bunch of inventory that she needed to clear out. And in her case, she had 82 pieces in this particular sale. She sold 72 of them for a little bit over $15,000, and that was in 1 week. And a lot of them were like color studies and smaller pieces. And we just keep going and going and going. This is another customer, Debbie. This show just ran 2 days ago, or on Wednesday, I believe. And in Debbie's case, I think she's up to, come on, YouTube, get loading, so I can refresh this. She's up to, I think, 25 pieces sold so far. I don't know what the dollar amount is. I need to go check in on that. And same concept, right? Now, you look at this and you're like, this is really interesting. This is fascinating. Yeah, there's a ton of tradecraft to do this, right? And how to figure this out and what bells and whistles and technology that you need. And this is what we learn. This is what we teach. And this is what we do. And what's funny about this concept of this new way of selling art is the whole art world is trying to figure it out at once. Okay. Your industry is not one that has a lot of reports. This is one that I really like to highlight, and I'm going to send you a link to it in the chat. It's called the Art Market Report, and it's put out by Art Basel and UBS. Okay. And it's killer. It's like a PDF, and then they do this key finding section. And I love highlighting this key finding. And one disclaimer on this: when they put these reports out, they're sort of surveying the top, call it 2 to 3% of the art selling market, right? So it's like the people that are selling in Sotheby's and Christie's and are represented by the biggest galleries and such. But it's still totally telling because whether you're that big or whether you're down at the very bottom and you just haven't even sold a piece yet, everyone's trying to figure the same thing out. But I love quoting this. Chapter 5 looks at the online art market and the rapid evolution in sales in 2021. The chapter shows how the dealer sector shifted sales online in 2020 and the development of online viewing rooms, OVRs, and it shows the growth. And it talks about this report about how throughout the pandemic, even at the very highest end of the scale, this concept, and when they say OVR, online viewing rooms, that's a snooty word for a Zoom call. It's just a Zoom call, right? It's a Zoom call with a potential collector, and that's what it is. And so the entire art selling world right now is trying to figure out how to leverage live video to sell art. it is insanely effective. And when you contemplate the alternatives, loading up the car, going and doing the show and fair circuit, paying the booth fees, being on your feet for 8 hours a day, or you just turn the camera on in your garage, no booth fees. Are you kidding me? It's not even close. It's night and day. And so more than anything else, like, are you guys a website company? Yeah, we offer websites, but we create the conditions for successful artists and photographers. We teach you how to actually grow a business that will work, that is sustainable, and will provide a return on your investment. And the amount of time, energy, and effort that we're pouring into these live shows right now is absolutely staggering. And they're a ton of fun. And we talk about little things like the tradecraft, like in Debbie's case here. It's not very flattering. Still, there we go. Um, how do you go about doing this? Like, how do you announce it? What kind of emails do you send? How do you price it? How do you broadcast it? You can see that she's got earpods in here. What are those doing? The AirPods are connected to her phone, which is streaming on Instagram. We're using software that's allowing her to pull in the comments and put her logo in here, and that's streaming to her Facebook page, into her YouTube account, into her Twitter account, all at once. It's like, how do you go about doing all that? What is the tradecraft? What is the playbook? These are the types of things that we teach. These are the types of things that we empower our customers to do, and it's just insanely exciting. I mean, it is quite literally the most amazing advancement in terms of selling is this live video selling, and we are pioneers in it. Our customers are pioneers in it. We are getting better at it every single solitary day, and it just fundamentally underscores you guys all have a marketing problem. That's what we need to fix. And if we start fixing that, we're on the path to giving you guys a successful business. But Nick, you haven't introduced yourself yet. You might as well say hi. So Nick's our CEO. He's joining us on this Saturday, because we always like, we get a little overzealous, and we have these deals that run at the end of the month, and then we get so slammed we can't get back to everybody, and people can't attend the sessions. We're working on it. I don't know what the heck we're going to do, staff up or something, but that's why we're doing the Saturday. So we get that feedback. We get busy. We get slammed, right? Trying to solve for it.
Yeah. Well, and we should, Joseph, let's make a note of this. As soon as I finish here, we finish talking, let's make sure that you go over the sale that we just extended through Monday, the Memorial Weekend sale, because yesterday was the last business day. So we just announced that we're extending it through Monday, but you can give the details on that in a second if that's all right.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah. So, I mean, hi, first of all, hello, everybody. Yeah, as Patrick said, I'm Nick Friend. I'm CEO and owner of Art Storefronts. And you know what, Pat,
Yeah.
the first thing that's on my mind is it's a Saturday morning, right? For some people, it's earlier, but it's early for everyone, and it's a holiday weekend. And so the first thought that I had, and just looking at, all of you guys on here, Timothy, Jennifer, Karen, all of you guys with your videos on, Joan, Janine, Terry, Diane, Nancy, winners. That's literally the first thing that I thought in my head. Like, you guys are the winners. Seriously. Like, the fact that you have dedicated yourself, like, on a holiday weekend to, like, learning more about how to run this business, how to get better, how to make improvements. That's it's like the first thing that, like, I love to see, because I can tell you guys are motivated and you want it, and all of that. So I just want to say props to you guys, first and foremost. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, like, there's so much that I could comment on with what Patrick and Joseph, both talked about, but a few things are on my mind. So when Patrick talked about, the website, the marketing problem, that's the real problem, right? And, like, there's a couple things that I would say. Number one is, there is a stat that we mention frequently, and I think it is very important. Okay, and it's 99% of all Shopify stores fail. Okay, you can like, that's a phrase that you can Google. Okay, now that's not a knock on Shopify. What's being pointed out there when you actually research this. I'll tell you what it is. It doesn't matter whether it's Shopify or it's Wix or Squarespace or Zenfolio or GoDaddy or ZenCard or WordPress or the 15 generic website platforms that are out there that you can choose from, right? Doesn't matter. The point is, just because you have a website, it doesn't mean you have a business, right? You have to solve the marketing problem. You'll notice now that I've told you this, the website companies with their ads on TV or, online or whatever, they're very good at, getting people to sign up for a website and go, hey, your dream starts here, like, get your website today. But 99% of people who start their website fail. They fail to sell really anything or make anything out of it. And the real reason behind that is exactly what Patrick mentioned, which is marketing. You have to solve the marketing problem one way or another. So you know that by now, right? But the second part of that is how the marketing goalposts are always moving. You know what I mean? Like, what I mean by that is what worked, really well 2 years ago no longer works well now, right? But what also happens when the best tactics and strategies get found out, there's a saying that marketers ruin everything. Like when everything gets out there, marketers just blast it everywhere. And then you start seeing a lot of courses and people trying to sell you stuff around it. Perfect example of that is like search engine optimization. It stopped working like in 2009. I'm not joking either, because I built one of my first companies in 2003 off of search engine optimization, off of like getting yourself ranked in Google. Back then, it was a big deal. There was a major arbitrage there, but it ended a long time ago. And it still amazes me that people are selling those things and people are buying them. By the way, do not buy any of those. Just don't do it. Okay, total waste of time. Okay, so the next thing is that going to a tactic like Patrick was just showing, these live art shows, right? It's important to understand that to be successful at any of these tactics, like a live art show, and he talked about how there's a whole buildup. There's marketing that you got to do for like a week or two beforehand, and then there's the actual execution of the show, and then there's marketing that you do after the fact. And pieces are selling throughout that entire time frame if you're doing the trade craft properly, right? And that's what the whole playbook that we've put together and we're constantly updating based on the learnings shows you. But you have to have an audience, guys, right? Like you've got to have an audience, and so you have to do marketing, and you have to have a good marketing strategy to build an audience of people to follow you, to get people attending these shows to have great results, right? So that problem is always there. But I think to wrap a bow on the whole website thing too, is that all of these different tactics and all the different marketing that you do, when you actually do that well, then you start generating a lot of traffic and activity back to your website. And remember, your website is an art gallery, right? It's just like having your own physical retail art gallery. It just happens to be online, right? But it's your gallery, and you should run it and think about it like it's your actual art gallery, especially with how you can sell, and present your works with these live art shows in the way that Patrick just showed you. So it's your live art gallery. And so that's a major deal. But once you are doing all of this and your marketing engine is humming, that's when the website really matters. That's when all of those features and functionalities start really working for you. I like to say it's like a robot that's working for you 24/7, because somebody comes on and they're looking for a piece, and they want to make sure it meshes with their wall color, and they're not sure whether they want it framed or unframed. Your job, the technology is the technology's job is to help your visitor reach their desired outcome. All of us as consumers have a desired outcome that we're trying to reach when we're looking at buying something. Just think about it. Like if you're buying like a barbecue or something like that, you've got a desired outcome in mind, and you're thinking about all of the things that you need before you make that decision, right? And so all of the features and functionality, from the merchandising videos to the augmented reality to the 3D previews, right? All of that is just helping to facilitate that. But that stuff becomes really, really valuable once you've got the marketing engine completely solved. Okay. So I think those are some of the points that I have. And then I like to also say that one of the things that it may sound countercultural for me to say it, but I hear it all the time. So I have to talk about it. I've been in the art business, you guys, for over 20 years. I started my first company in this business back in 2003, but I started working, in this industry in the year 2000. And I have a long history of working with, artists and photographers. And what I will tell you is that the theme I hear all the time is there's so much competition, right? There's so much competition. Like everybody's got a phone in their pocket or everyone's got a paintbrush, and all that stuff. And what I want to tell you guys is that there is almost no competition. I'm just telling you that. There's almost none. And the reason I can tell you that is because we have been, pretty much the only company out there. In fact, we are the only company out there that that provides like an all-in-one solution for artists and photographers to sell their art. That includes like actually building your own business, right? Going direct to your market, owning your own customer list, right? And that's an important part, right? Because the traditional old way of building an art business is all indirect, right? Selling through third parties who then sell to your customers. So that would be like selling through art galleries and uploading your work to online websites or whatever that stuff is. But the number of people that actually are willing to work and like build their own business the normal way that every business has to like do in order to succeed is a small number of people. Everybody else out there, I'm talking 99%, it's probably a higher percentage than that. In fact, I think I've talked to Joseph about this before. Like I asked him, out of everyone on our outreach team that's talking to artists and photographers, like how many of them are just like, oh no, I'm just, I just want to like, I'm just going to upload my work to Fine Art America and this site and that site and that site and that, and I'm not going to do anything, right? And none of them sell. None of them sell. Like maybe you're in like the top tier class if you maybe make a couple sales a year, but you're not on any path to ever building your own valuable art business, right? And by your own valuable art business, I'm talking about, I want you to have something that's similar to what I'm trying to build. Like when I'm an entrepreneur, my whole career, every time I've built a business, I'm trying to build something that has value, you know what I mean? That will last a long time, that I could potentially retire on or pass to my kids one day, right? Like that's what a real business is. Like the other type of income that you get when you're getting 1099 checks is just independent contractor income. You're getting nothing. You have to own your customer list. You have to own your leads in order to create like a funnel and an engine that actually works for you. You got to put leads in the top, and then a percentage of those will turn into sales, right? But when you're building a direct business and you're constantly going direct to your audience and you own your followers, you own your email list, you own all of these things, then you have something that you can always go back to, on when you're doing regular marketing. And when you have that, that's how you get like month to month consistency with your art sales, which is like people are, they have such a tough time creating consistency. And it's because nobody just does what a normal business owner needs to do. Like whether you're a plumber or you're a clothing designer or you're an artist, every business has to do those things. And so all we're doing is teaching everybody, every artist and photographer that we can who wants to do it, how to do all this stuff. It's very, very simple. It's not any harder than that. But you guys, that's why I get excited about, you guys coming on a Saturday and I say you guys are the winners. It's because like over my 20 years in this industry, there's all I meet are people who are just like, no, I don't really want to do any work. I don't want to work at anything. I don't want to, yet they have jobs, right? They have to have jobs to like earn money in their regular life. So they're willing to do like a 9-to-5 job they hate, but then they won't actually like, as soon as you say, no, you got to start making some social media posts and do some email marketing and build your audience and build a business. They're like, no, I'm done. I'm done. And so you can be one of the rare few instantly by just understanding this and going, wait a minute, like if I actually do that, I'm going to be like part of the 0.01% or the 1%, whatever you want to say. And the answer to that is 100% yes. Like without a doubt, 100% yes. So if you're willing to do it and you're willing to persevere and just do the normal things and to build a business, and whether that's like you want to just earn some side income, like an extra 5 or 10 grand a year, or you want to try to get to hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, because we have artists like that on our and photographers on our platform that are doing that, full timers, world class. It doesn't matter. You can do it either way. It's all up to you at the end of the day. It really is. Okay. So like the starving artist problem it's it can be defined more like specifically as a like, there's effort problems in there, there's strategy problems in there. They're business problems at the end of the day. It's not just, oh, every artist is a starving artist. It's just not true. It's just not true. So your success and everyone's success is going to come down to you at the end of the day. What decisions do you make? How committed are you? Are you going to run a business? Are you going to treat it like a real business? Right? It's not rocket science. If you do those things, you'll make steps in the right direction, and you can do it. So that's pretty much all I've got. Patrick, are you there?
Yep.
Pass it back to you, or actually, I'm sorry, Joseph. Why don't you go ahead and explain the discount real quick? And can you give just ballpark pricing? I know that the pricing and the feature list is very detailed, and so you need to do that on a screen share with when people request a demo. But if you can give a ballpark of pricing and then talk about the discounts, the expiration, and all of that really quick, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, our base option starts generally it's $1,750 as a one-time activation. That we have knocked down to 1,000 right now to get started, and then $44 a month ongoing. And so you can get started there. So if that's in the budget, absolutely, you can get on board. And then on the upper end, it does range up to, on the high end, one-time activation of $4,000. But we have a bigger promotion on that, or more savings ultimately. So you could start there for $2,700 at the moment as a one-time fee. Again, you don't pay that again. And then that's $59 a month, ongoing month to month there. So yeah, that was our promotion this month. Again, sorry if we weren't able to get to you. So we've extended that. So today through Monday, ultimately, you can take advantage of that pricing. We do even have options where you could pay annually and save. And if you don't want to go month to month, you can pay annually, get some savings. We'll give you some free extra time there too when you do that. So there's just a couple different ways right now to get a better deal and get things started.
Yeah, and Joseph, do you have any comments on what I was mentioning though? Like since I've got you here, it's been a little bit since we've talked about that, but how often is it out of 1,000 artists and photographers? And we get, first of all, how many demo requests do we get a day?
Oh, probably like, what is it, like 80?
Yeah.
80 a
Okay,
day.
so, and our outreach team is speaking to probably around that number a day, or, literally every day, right?
Literally every day. Yeah, because not everybody picks up the first day, but then we talk to them the next day. So we're talking about a lot of people. And
Yeah.
so you get on the phone and, we want to let people understand what it is we do, because it's a little different, right? There's a lot of things, just a website. That's not what we're doing. And we are looking for people, like yourselves, that are looking to put in that work here and there and start building this. But yeah, there's a lot of people who just, no, I don't want to do that. I was hoping I could just upload my art and you would just sell it for me and I'll be good. That's all I want to do. And this isn't for them right now. And a lot of times those people can reach back out later and go, well, I tried that. That didn't work. And it's like, well, I could have saved you a little time there. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, if to be an entrepreneur and really connect with your buyers and know who they are, it's going to take some work, and it's going to take some work to find those buyers and prospects. But it's rewarding. That's the thing, that to see the excitement, because we have our small wins community. The excitement you see when someone starts to get their sales and they did it themselves, it's like they're over the moon, and that feeling is just beautiful. And you don't get that in the marketplace. It's like, oh, here's your few bucks. You are kind of validating your art if you've never sold at all, and then that someone would buy, which is beautiful too. But man, when you do it and you're really building something that you could even pass down to the next generation or your family, and then that's special. And but yeah, there's a lot of people, if you take that step and that move, you're really separating yourself. Like Nick said, like there isn't any competition. And when you really realize that and look at what's going, and I could tell you, all these people, all the other 80 people or the other 79 who don't want to do it, they go, nah, I'm not going to do it. Those guys aren't your competition, because no one's seeing their art. So that wall space, you could take it up with your sales if you just get yourself in front of them. I promise you, most of you in here have probably seen a successful photographer or artist and thought, my art is better than theirs. And you know what? God bless them. That other guy, they're just doing the marketing, they're doing the work, and that's why they're getting the sales. And if your art's better than theirs, you could potentially do better. You just got to put in that work.
That's a great point. We've said this before. We've put out some information on this, but like we have we have artists and photographers on our platform that are unknown, right? Who are regularly outselling like world renowned artists and photographers who are also on our platform. Okay. And you'd say, okay, wait, what? How could that happen? I think it's a great example of like, okay, wait, they're equipped with exactly the same things. There's no difference between what they've been equipped with, right? So then what could it be? It comes down to execution, you know? And that's another trend that I tend to see is that the more talented an artist or photographer is, oftentimes the less effort or in marketing they put in. And it's too bad because for ones that actually figure that out and then they start putting in more effort, they destroy it, right? They start killing it in terms of sales because you've got like both of those things working together, right? Just amazing art and then like you have an edge on your marketing. I mean, that's when you're going stratospheric.
To
right?
give
But
to,
we
to
do
give that
regularly
one teeth too, to give that one teeth, like a proper way to say it is, sadly, you guys, your industry is not a meritocracy when it comes to the quality of the work. It is a meritocracy in the quality of the marketing. And
well said.
I would go as far to say to give that teeth because let's give it some numbers. We have a person that has 1.3 million followers on Instagram, is a household name. We have a person that has 5,000 followers on Instagram, and this gal kicks his butt. It's not even close in terms of the sales volume. She is like 5x. And how do you explain that, right? Like, wait, what? He's got 1.3 million followers on Instagram, and here's this gal with 5,000, and she's kicking his butt, and the email lists are the same size. So it's a meritocracy in the marketing and not in the work.
It tells you everything you need to know right there. Like this person that you're referring to, I know who you're referring to, right?
Yeah.
Like you're talking, extremely widely known, on magazines, everything like that, right? Has all the credentials that you can imagine. And then this gal that you're mentioning, nobody knows who she is, right?
Yep.
And so, but that's it. This, what's important about this is how exciting this is when you actually, learn and understand what to prioritize as a business owner, and then you do that and that's how you get ahead. And something else that I have to mention with, I think this is really important with the live art shows that you were showing, Pat.
Yep.
Is, you go back, you rewind 20 years, right? 25 years, whatever you want. Let's say 25 years, right? And like at the beginning of the internet, okay, there's no e-commerce yet, no websites really yet. I mean, there's just a few, right? And there wasn't a way to do digital marketing and market yourself online yet. And the fact that today that you can do all of those things and you can do them from home, right? And you guys can run literally your own art gallery from your home and make legitimate sales, like done, right? Patrick told you those numbers, there's nothing in your way, right? Because you can show the art, you can do it up close and all of that, and people will buy it for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars without even seeing it in person, because the quality of video these days facilitates that. But the fact that you can now do this, guys, changes everything. It changes everything in this business, okay? And what that means is you guys can now build your own like real, like profitable, legitimate business from home. And it's not, this is no joke. This is no joke now. And so that part is so exciting. It's the most exciting advancement that we have seen in, I don't even know, it could be hundreds of years, right? A lot of people try to say that giclée the advancement of giclée, which is when I got into the art business. Okay. This was like 99, 2000 is when it really started spreading with the first release of Epson printers. There were some printers before that, but that's when it really started getting more widespread. That was a big deal, and it was a big deal. But that's a whole different thing, right? Like giclée and print on demand, it really helped, but it didn't solve the starving artist problem. It didn't allow artists to build their own business direct, where they owned everything, right? All it did was it helped pick winners easier without investing a lot more. Because with serigraphy, for example, like you used to have to or lithography, the publishers would have to pick winners and losers, and then they'd have to print 300 or 1,000 prints and hopefully sell them, and then they'd end up with a ton of inventory in the end, right? So like it helped from a printing standpoint, but it didn't help the individual creator. Okay. This helps the individual creator. This changes everything. Okay. And the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the pudding. Like we have plenty of people that have, $100,000 a year businesses or more that are doing it right from home without even working with a single gallery. Now, a lot of them work with galleries too, but 80% or 90% of their sales are coming from direct, right? And when you sell direct, how much of the sale do you get to keep? All of it.
All right, you ready to open it up for Q&A?
Absolutely.
So how do we do Q&A? One, if your camera's on and you want to do the old school hand raise, we'll see that. And yep, Jennifer, I gotcha. We'll get to you next. For everyone else, there's a participants thing at the bottom of Zoom, and you click that, and there's a way that you can digitally raise your hand, and then we just know you're in the queue, and we'll come to you next. Turn your mic on. If you don't want to be on video, you don't have to be on video. I hate being on video. You can just answer your questions via audio. All good. You can throw them in the chat, and then we also stream this live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. So if you're on the socials and you have questions, I see those, and we can answer those directly. So Joan, I saw you sent me some questions via email. So we'll grab Jennifer, and then Joan will bring you in and answer your questions. But you're up first, Jennifer. How you doing? You'll need to unmute. It's yeah, you got it.
I'm good, thanks. Let me get the right view on here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm concerned about privacy. I would love to I do really well with people in person, and I think it would be good for my business to do these live presentations, but has anybody had trouble with privacy issues?
No, like what do you mean? Like people showing up at your house or something?
Yeah, like even just doing shows, I get stalkers and stuff. So I really shy away from, putting my face and myself online as part of the product.
We've seen, I know we have seen that come up once or twice, but you got to ban them. You just ban and block people. Anytime you see it happen, you'll see it in your comments, you just use the ban feature, the block, and they're permanently out.
Okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah,
you just do it quickly, and you do it.
Pulling like weeds.
Yeah.
The other question I have was, my pieces that are most successful, one might take me a lot of time to do. So is it still commercially viable if, a good painting takes me, say, a month to do it? Or do I need to pick something that I can just do very quickly in order to be successful financially?
The success is not going to be dictated. It's not going to be dictated in the slightest by how long you take to do a piece, right? Like it doesn't matter how long you take to do a piece. It matters whether or not
productions.
Yeah, it just matters, what kind of price you can command for it. Like, what do you sell your originals for then?
I was selling like a 11 by 14 oil painting for $9.50.
Okay.
And that would take you a month?
No. Those were fast, but okay. I mean, the big ones might take me a month, like a 30 by 40 oil painting.
How much is that?
Like $2,500.
Yeah, you should be selling that for more if you're putting that much effort into it, right? And see, and but the thing that I liked from what you've said so far is that you've got ones that you're not doing that, and all the way to where you're doing that big investment, right? And the most important thing to me is that if when you're when you're working with us is I want to make sure that you're focused on the right content. Because if you're going to spend a month on something, it needs to be your best. It needs to be stuff is going to sell. Right. And so you might even use the little ones and the smaller time investment pieces to really understand and what's really resonating with your audience. And then you go for the big one. And in fact, more than likely, maybe someone who's bought one of the little ones, one of your collectors, right, is going to end up buying the big one, because you can do some fantastic romance marketing, as you're making that piece. And, by releasing like progress pictures and videos and talking about what's happening, and you create this whole buildup, and then you release it, and you do more than likely a show to release it, and it might be sold before the show even happens, and you'll show it anyway, but you'll show it so you could say, hey, it already sold, but I'm offering some prints and you can buy prints of it. There's all of these tactics, right? But that's the way that you want to think about it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna grab Joan next, and then Timothy, I see your hands up. We'll get to you after. Go ahead, Joan. Joan, you'll need to unmute. There's like a little mic icon. Yep, gotcha.
Okay, good. I just wanted to follow up quickly on on something that Nick said. He was talking about artists keeping all the money. Isn't there a transaction fee with Art Storefront for originals and prints?
Yeah, there's a 5% on originals for online sales only. And then there's a 10% on prints. And Joseph can show you more of that, or his team, in a demo. And there's 0% on like what we call standard items, like if you sell classes or any other type of product, sculptures or things like that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, when I say that, like 5% on original, I'm comparing it to what's normally 50 and what we're even seeing now, which is like 60, 70% from galleries, post COVID, the percentages have gone up, not down. So sorry, I should say, you're essentially keeping all of it, but that assumes if you're working with us, right? But also and those percentages are also for online only. So anything that you sell that's like over the phone or whatever, we're not like taking a piece of your business.
I see. Okay, so if I sell to my next door neighbor, that wouldn't, yeah, okay.
Which you'll do all sorts of stuff like that, and you'll do it as a result of the marketing and things like that, but we don't involve ourselves in any of that. It's just easier to just do it with the online sale, and it's just a piece of your business.
Right. Okay. And then my other question, which I had submitted earlier, was about getting print samples. I know you have 2 vendors that we can use for producing the prints. And, I would need to see, I mean, I've already got a printer that has done some of my editions, and there's been a lot of back and forth to get it just right and changing the color and this and that. Can you see samples, and how much can you actually work with a printer and say, this isn't working, this is working, that kind of thing?
Well, number one, you're still free to use whatever printer you want, right? So you're not being forced to switch. We're providing, our automated fulfillment is just a benefit for you to save you time, right? And it's awesome. It's my baby personally, because the company I mentioned in 2003 that I started is called Breathing Color, and it's one of the largest manufacturers of fine art canvas, photography and art papers, and metal and all that stuff. And so I picked the printing companies that we work with. It's Bay Photo and Graphic Dimensions. So and if you go to asfprints.com, like art storefronts prints, asfprints.com, you can buy samples for actually, Joseph, am I wrong on that? That's for graphic. We might need to get a site for Bay Photo too. I know we have one. I just don't have it on the top of my mind. If we could get a link maybe to Joan, but also Joan, you can, you can switch at any time. It's literally the click of a button. So you could start off by just continuing to use the printer that you have, and then, at a certain point later, switch to automated fulfillment when you've gone through like fully testing and all of that. But those are the two companies. I would say Bay Photo is probably more ideal for you because they tend to work with the more with the artists that have like more detailed needs in terms of color correction, whereas graphic will give better pricing, but it's more the quality is the same, but they don't have the staff to facilitate color correction, and so it's sort of, pick your poison, right? Now the quality is state of the art, right? So we're transparent about the printers that are used, and what I mean is the actual printing machines, like Epson branded, the inks, and the media types. Okay, so for example, I mentioned Breathing Color, right? So like Breathing Color is one of the canvases and one of the papers that are offered, but there's Hahnemühle paper, there's Canson paper, there's various canvases, there's tons of different brands. The whole thing that I wanted to do and that we wanted to do as a company is give you guys the options from total high end, the Ferrari quality, and then down to economy, right? Because we do have people that actually serve like the more decorative art market, higher volume decorative art. So we've got economy canvas, we have economy papers that are fantastic. They're really, really good, but they're much cheaper in price so that you make a higher profit margin. And so you have the choice to pick whatever you want in there. There's literally on-off toggles that you just click, and you click one and it's on. If you want to change it later, you just click it and you're good to go. And you can buy samples cheaply from these companies. I suggest in your case, like that's what you should do, is take one of your images and don't buy like unprinted samples because you can get a sample pack. I would just take one of your images and get it printed, and then start working build a relationship with Bay and do it, and then figure that out. It's worth it to do, I think, at the end of the day, because Patrick will surely jump in on this. It's one of his biggest pet peeves is that, managing prints and all of that is just not there's no ROI to it for you. Like if you can get a good printing company that's handling your fulfillment for you, like all of that time and headache and energy for you gets to go back to either marketing or creating. And so it just makes your life that much better. And it's just better, higher ROI time spent,
Right. Okay. And just last question, if I can, what about signed editions? I mean, if they're printing it and then you got to sign it, I mean, that's like back and forth, right?
Yeah. So here's how our customers do that now. So when you get an order off your website, and you're using automated fulfillment, it will, like, you can have the option to where it just automatically fulfills on the spot and you don't do anything, right? That's what most people do. Now, for your limited editions though, that does not happen. Okay. And what happens, and so what happens from there is, you get an order for a limited edition. In the back end of art storefronts, like in your control panel, like where you're kind of managing the whole business, you have the ability to very quickly, in like a 30 seconds, create an order for that print, okay, and have it shipped directly to you. And so what people do for limited editions is that print will get shipped to them, and the packaging is beautiful and it's really nice. So you very carefully take the print out, keep all of the packaging, you sign it, you number it, you use the exact same packaging so you have no extra cost, and then you take it and you just take it to UPS or FedEx or whoever you're going to use, and you ship it to the customer. And so that's how it usually works.
Okay, good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Also, Joan, I'll point out those orders through the back end. We don't have transaction fees on those either. So those are, you just can get inventory whenever you need it at cost from the printer, which is nice as well.
Thank you very much. Okay, good. Helpful.
Great.
Yeah, that's a great point too, Joseph, because it relates to, like, we want you guys, like, I call it like the mothership, right, for your business. Like the whole art storefront software, aside from the website, like the whole back end is intended to be like a mothership for you to run, like one place where everything is for you, managing your customers, your clients, like all your contacts. We've got a centralized database for you there. We want you to do everything there. And so when you actually get an order, let's say it's over the phone from your neighbor, or, even if you're doing an art show or something like that, um, we want you to be able to enter in your orders into the system so everything is in one place, because then that makes your accounting easier at the end of the quarter or year, whenever you do your accounting. And so when you enter in those orders that are not online orders, obviously, because those are happening because a visitor just checked out on your website, when you're entering your own orders, we call them self-made orders because you're doing it. There's no transaction fees on any of that, nothing, zero, right? But you're able to put everything into the system, which allows you to see all of your numbers and reports and get all of those benefits. Simplification.
Yeah, and I would put some color on it too, Joan, and I would say, like, look, I get it. I'm the marketing guy, okay? To a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? But knowing that your biggest problem is a marketing problem and always will be a marketing problem, I don't want you going to your local printer. I don't want you sending emails back and forth. I don't want you driving down there. I don't want you sending somebody a FedEx, because those are all hours and time that you're not giving me to work on your marketing, right? And so that's the key there. That's number one. Number two, in terms of limited editions, what I think is the best system right now, you can offer no signature, you can offer a digital signature, or if they really want a signed edition, then you charge extra for it, because that thing is going to come shipped to you. You're going to open the package, take it out, sign it, seal it back up, and put it in. And so some of our most successful customers run it that way. And when we talk about the transaction fees, one of the things that's probably not been clear yet, we know, okay, that you guys don't have a website problem. So we can't just be a website company. If we need to have successful customers, we need to teach you to market, and that teaching can never stop. So all of our fees and everything that we charge goes to pay for your continuing education. And we have every single solitary week, 2 days a week, sessions just like these on Zoom with our customers, where we teach you what you need to be doing in terms of marketing that particular week. We walk through it, and then it's live Q&A. And the support is 6 days a week, also on Zoom with live Q&A. And not only do we support our application, if you're having a problem with Facebook, if you're having a problem with Instagram, if you're having a problem with MailChimp, we will get you unstuck on that. We will do screen shares, jump on and fix whatever you have going on. And guess what? That never stops. It will never stop. If we want successful customers, we have to teach you to market. We are essentially, okay, we have the best website. Fantastic. You don't have a website problem. We are an art marketing and business university. There are no graduates because the learning never stops. And that's what it takes to create a successful customer. Because, to Nick's point, like, the goalposts keep changing. A year ago, no one was running live art shows. No one, period, full stop. Now, the whole entire world's talking about them. So what happened? The goalpost moved, right? And so we need to get you up to speed and show you what that looks like. And we need to be able to support you. And, one of the things that we're fundamentally discovering in this business as we move on is you guys are all solopreneurs. Okay. You do not have interns or staff or a large employee base to scream at and help you and buck you up and get you going. You need poking and prodding. One of the biggest problems is just to get you to take action on your marketing. And so what we've developed is a system to get you to do that, right? Like, Jennifer's sitting there and she's terrified. She's not going to run a live art show. She's worried about the stalkers and what to do about that. And I will poke you and prod you, Jennifer, and say, this is how we get past this. Don't worry about it. Let's get going on the marketing. And then not only that, one of the things that I'm most proud about, and you're going to start to hear more and more and more about this, but in terms of education, like, the whole education world has changed, right? And what happened first is digital education. Here's a course. Here's a course on Facebook ads. Here's a course on how to email market. Here's a course on how to run a Mother's Day sale for artists and photographers. That's all well and good, having a course. That's wonderful, right? But if you look at any of the big dogs, Kajabi, Masterclass, Lynda.com, Kelby, do you know what percentage that actually buy a course, finish it? It hovers somewhere around 15 to 20%. That's it. No one ever finishes those classes. Why? Because learning in a vacuum by yourself does not work. It's not effective. So what is the new topic du jour? What is the new company that just raised $1 bajillion? Cohort-based learning. And what does that mean? You're in a class with other people, just like this, learning and going through it with other people. And that's what we do. We do cohort-based teaching, and we've been doing it for a couple of years now, and it is the only thing that actually gets you guys to take action and do it. So, Diane was having a question, I believe, and I might as well unmute you, Diane. So let me just grab you. And you can hit your mic. And Diane's saying, if SEO is done, then, how do we teach you to drive traffic? We literally teach you to become competent digital marketers. We teach you the fundamentals of digital marketing, how to capture emails, how to email those emails, what that text should look like, how to post on Instagram, how to dial up your Instagram profile, how to post on Facebook, how to dial up your Facebook profile, how to run sales, the mechanics to run a sale, how to announce a sale, how to tease a sale, how to extend a sale, what the percentages off should be, what the language should look like, how to make your email dovetail with your Facebook and Instagram posts so that you have what's called omni-channel marketing going on. Eventually, once you start becoming successful, yes, how to bolt Facebook and Instagram ads to it, how to run live art shows, okay? Oh, you're still doing some offline stuff? Love it. Love online stuff. That you're doing fairs and shows, let me teach you how to capture emails at those. Let me teach you how to offer a deal. There's so many things that we teach you to do, and it never stops. What we charge, the fees and everything else. Look, there are a million website companies out there, okay? And many of you have tried a whole bunch of them, right? What changed in your business? Absolutely nothing. Nothing changed. Because what happened? You did not do your marketing consistently, right? You did not understand the perspective of how long you need to be marketing. You didn't understand the perspective of sales and all the mechanics. Like the thing that differentiates a successful artist or photographer is their knowledge of marketing and the consistency with which they do it. That's it. Full stop. Not going to change. Not going to change anytime soon. This has been the biggest problem in this industry and will remain this biggest problem in the industry. I know every one of you conclusively on this call has a marketing problem. The reason I know that is because I got 5,500 customers. Even the ones that are hitting about $1 million a year in sales, not many, but there are some, they have a marketing problem because they want to take that business from 1 million to 5 million, right? And guess what? Marketing is the only way you're going to get there. So fundamentally, that's what we do. Fundamentally, that is how to understand, the transaction fees and what we charge. Because look, everyone just jumps around from one to the other. I'm going to go try a marketplace, no success. I'm going to go try this website, no success. And you worked on the website for 6 months. I'm going to go try this site and no success. I'm going to go get into a gallery. You're not keeping any information on your customers. Like, we are fundamentally an art business university that gives you, a bachelor of the arts in art marketing, how to grow an art business. And it'll never stop. It'll never stop. That's what we do.
Pat, it's interesting because like you're talking a lot about the marketing component, and the thing that is extremely important in there that cannot be missed is that when you start doing your own direct marketing and you do it well and you're doing a lot of it, you start getting you start getting like an understanding of the exact pulse of your audience and what is resonating and what is not. And you cannot like underestimate how important that is, because you'll get a little bit of it in the beginning, but once your audience starts getting bigger and you're selling more, you start getting a lot more of it. And that information is direct feedback from the market telling you, what is working and what is not. And it's going to inform the types of pictures that you're going to shoot from then on, or the subject matter you're going to paint. Okay. And so you continue to optimize further towards perfection by getting this real information from the market. When you're far away from it, which is what most people are, they're totally far away from that information. You're just creating randomly. Now, and I get like that personal like feeling that it gives you, like there's importance to that, of course. But if we're just leaving that aside and talking about it from a business standpoint, information about what is important to your customers is the most important thing that you can do to deliver something to your customers that actually like resonates. And there's no surprise here. If you're actually in this business to try to like make the world a better place through your art, the more you understand about what actually is resonating with your customers or with your audience, that's how you're actually going to do it. Okay. Your sales is a reflection of how well you have done that. Okay. You guys, look at what we are doing. We're eating our own dog food right now. I'm the CEO and owner of the company, and I'm talking to you guys. I do this once a month, maybe twice a month on these sessions. Okay. And I talk to our customers all the time. Why are we doing this? Why? Like, we are talking to you guys all the time. because we need to understand what it is, like where all of the problems are, what everybody's thinking. Okay. Now with our customers, it's different. Patrick just kind of talked about it a little bit, how we've got to like, you know, there's certain art storefronts members who they don't need any motivation. They're on it. They're following the playbooks and the art marketing calendar and the strategies, and they're doing everything. Then there's, you know, a group that they need some product. They need some, you know, some pushes every once in a while. It's kind of like, you know, there's people who need trainers in order to exercise more, right? Like it's just reality. It's just how we are. It's just human nature. But being close to our customers is the way that we understand what about the product is working, what is not, what is needed, how we need to optimize things in order to give more value to our customers, to make them more successful, to make their lives better. It's the same thing for you guys. It's a concept called customer success, right? And the more you understand about your audience and your collectors and all that stuff, the more of an impact you're going to have, and the higher your sales are going to get. You know, the people that have the highest sales, they're having a bigger impact than anyone else on the world, and it's through their marketing. And everybody sits there and thinks like, why my art is better than theirs? Why is mine not selling? Because they're making people feel better. They're getting their art out there in front of people, and there's a reason why that's happening. You know, they're marketing it well and having a good impact, and people are sharing it and spreading it as a result. And so it's building upon itself, and it's making good things happen. And that's just the truth. So you guys want to be doing the same thing.
Now, Joseph, you're running a live demo now, right? Literally right now, is that correct?
Oh no, we have one starting right now. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
if anybody wants to jump into that and see the live demo, it goes, I think, about an hour. It shows all the bells and whistles of the software. You can totally do that. If you guys want to stay on and continue doing the Q&A, we can totally do that too. Love that. And then we'll keep answering questions. Terry,
Patrick, real quick.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump off. It's my daughter's birthday. I'm glad nobody asked me for a free art storefronts account, because it's the day of my daughter's birthday. I would have to grant that request.
Oh my gosh, you hung it up there on the day
All
of
right,
your
guys,
daughter's
good seeing
birthday.
all of you.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah. Terry, I really like your question, so I want to unmute you. So Terry asks, and we can talk about this, like, do you have an approximate percentage of time spent marketing versus time spent creating? And once the system is working, does the time decrease or increase? It's sort of a crystal ball question, that one, Terry, a little bit, meaning I wish that there was, and Jennifer, there's a link. Joseph, you can put the link in the chat again, for Jennifer. I wish that there was, you know, a formula, a magical formula, Terry, but there's not. And, you know, I get asked this question all the time. How many hours a week do I need to put in? These are the variants. How many hours a week do I need to put into my marketing? What are the best selling sizes? What is the best subject material, right? What is the price point? And, you know, all of these various different questions, the premise of them is that there is some sort of magical formula that works for everybody. And do I have 5,500 customers? Yeah, we do. Do I have a wife that has a PhD in statistics? Yeah, I do. She could look at all of the data, and I don't know what the statistical words would be why you cannot get like a true representation of any magical formula. Like, I am always continually blown away by some people spending all the time in the world not doing that well. Some people barely spending any time at all, destroying it, right? Some people selling like crazy. Some people are not, in different price points, and different sizes, and different subject material, and some are doing commissions. Like, everyone in this business just has a different story. What I would say, the sort of like the right answer to your question is, you don't know. There is no magical formula. The number one thing that 100% of artists and photographers screw up with is they don't understand the consistency, and they don't have the perspective of how long it takes. Meaning, this is going to be my year. I'm going to start marketing, and I'm really going to kick butt. And what do? They work at it for 3 months. They don't get any sales because they didn't understand how long it takes, and they're not doing it effective, and they're like, I'm going to quit. And then they don't do it. It's less about the hours that you can give me on your marketing, and more about giving it to me 52 weeks a year. If you give it to me 52 weeks a year, that business will grow, and you will make forward progress. And what I end up finding is, you know, our customer base is a standard 80-20. 80% of our customers have full-time jobs. 20% full-time artists or photographers, or they're a service-based photographer and they're trying to sell their fine art. And where was I going with that? I lost my train of thought for a second. Oh, what ends up happening is you give the hours that you can give, right? That you have available to start working on your marketing. We make sure that they're focused on the highest ROI activities, meaning that, the best stuff that you can be working on that's actually going to get results. And what happens is that the score takes care of itself. You start working on it, and then next thing you know, you start getting some more sales. The next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm really motivated to do my marketing, and then it just kind of spins and rolls along as it goes. Did that sort of answer it?
And yeah, I get that.
Mhm.
And I'm also, I mean, I haven't been focused on sales. It's
Mhm.
about the creation.
Mhm.
And so I know that right now, I'm with someone else working on, it's not an art thing, it's a business thing,
Mhm.
to do marketing. And it's time consuming.
Mhm.
And when it's frustrating, it sort of kind of takes away from the creative,
Yep.
I don't want to say urge, but it's just like I should have a bumper sticker that says I'd rather be painting.
Yes.
But I know it has to. I guess what I'm saying, systems are great.
Mhm.
Systems help.
Yep.
Planning helps.
Yep.
Organizing your time in blocks helps. And yet that is so left brain that when I shift into the right brain, I can lose it for a whole day,
Yes. Yes.
and I know that there's a price. Anyway, so I was just, I believe there's a system,
Yeah.
I believe that, I'm not going to change the world with this, my art. I don't have those like huge aspirations,
Mhm.
but,
But you'd like to earn some income, and you don't want it to be a hobby. You do want it to be a business.
yeah, for a long time, I've been okay just doing it,
Mhm.
but I need to support my habit because I don't want to say bigger than that, but I want to get bigger. I want to have a space to work. I want to have
Yes.
some things that go along with it. And, and that is, so I have like Instagram. I'm
Mhm.
reluctant on Facebook just because I'm lazy about it.
Yep.
I have the website, and I know I'm so happy what you said about SEO. Bingo, done.
Done. Done.
Okay.
Not even waste a minute. Yep.
Yeah, blogs, working on building an email list, which is tiny, but so
Very good.
I get all the moving parts, and I guess I want to know how much I would need to put in to get the benefit back. And again, I haven't looked at the pricing in a long time. I
Sure.
think I listened to something that you did with Matthew, like maybe 3 years ago.
Mhm.
And that was really interesting. So I've followed you guys and this, but then I had to back off. But
Mhm.
like I want the value to go in, the effort to get out what's
No, I
gives
get
me
you.
enough time to still work.
Yes, I get
Does
you.
that make sense? I don't know.
I totally get you. There's good news and there's bad news here. I'm gonna start with the good news. The good news is we can help you. The bad news is let's just put it on the table. Let me just show my hands. The marketing is going to be a pain in the ass, Terry. And the
Mhm.
first year especially is going to be a pain in the ass because you're going to have to learn a bunch of things that you haven't learned yet. But
Mhm.
you know what? If you have guidance and you're going through it with a peer group that are doing the same things, and
Mhm.
in the first couple of months as you're learning all these fundamentals of digital marketing that we would teach you, you're going to be pulling your hair out of your head. But you know what? You're going to have a bunch of people in a Zoom call that are pulling their hair out of their head. And collectively, when you're doing that, you get through it and you crash through it. More so even than what we teach you, in the fact that it's, the highest ROI activities you can be engaging in to sell art. We know because we have the data and we have so many customers. But we're just going to make you do it consistently. That's it.
Mhm.
And if you do it consistently and you keep your head down, you get through one sale and then you get through another sale, and you get a little bit better and you understand the mechanics, and you're like, "Oh, that was annoying. It really killed me, but I could do it again." And
Mhm.
fundamentally, an art business, a photography business is regular marketing, sale, regular marketing,
Mhm.
sale, regular marketing,
Mhm.
sale.
Mhm.
New
Mhm.
year,
Mhm.
regular marketing, sale, regular marketing, sale. That's it. That's fundamentally the business. So once you get a handle on all of it, you start to get momentum the sales start happening. You start to you start to get the like the endorphin kicks that comes with, and you get going. And we make it fun too. We make it as fun as it can be. And again, I go back to that, that cohort based learning. Like, when you're in Zoom calls like these, and you keep seeing the same people over and over and over again, and they're
Mhm.
telling their stories of success, like it really bucks you up. It gets you going. Like being a solopreneur, which all artists and photographers are, is a damn hard road. It is. So it's like when you have this cohort of people going through it with you, it really does make a difference. It really does make a difference.
I had never seen that online art show
Hmm.
displayed the way you were
I know.
showing it
Awesome.
before.
Yeah.
That was an eye opener.
Yes. It's insane. It's
That's awesome.
it
That's
represents like the
very cool.
yeah. So, I talk about like all of the things my team does. So, you- we have this metric that we track called GMV. It's called gross merchandise value, and it's the sum total of everything that our customers sell on their website. And so, I have a team, we call it the GMV team, and we literally just study what the biggest wins are, and then we go and we see if we can duplicate them. And so it's like when I was doing that screen share, I mean, this is honestly like one of my favorite things that I get to do. So no joke, this first guy, Matthew, right? And
Yeah,
he's,
that's
you
what
know,
I saw.
yeah, so he's a painter from Canada,
Hmm.
and he ran these things, and this is not even like his new work is insane. This is his old work. Okay. This was stuff he had in his basement, right? And so this
Hmm.
guy sells originals for anywhere I think from $5 to $25,000. Okay, he's got celebrity collectors, the whole deal. He's a big dog and pony. This was the stuff he had in his basement from like 8 years ago. Okay, but he ran
Hmm.
he ran these two shows. It was this one and this one. Okay, and over a 15-day period, he sells what he sold, which was mind-boggling. I mean, I love him. Okay, I think he needs to take the money that he won and get a shirt with sleeves, and somebody needs to tell him that. But independent of that, it's like his old work. I mean, it's like, yeah, that some of it's still good, but it's not even that good. Whatever. The fact that he was able to sell that much, we were like, you know, oh my gosh, that is huge. There's not a lot of people that are selling that much. Let's go see if we can duplicate it. Then we made Meg do it, right? And obviously we're helping and we're facilitating and doing the whole thing. But next I did it with Meg, right? And
From
ran the show with
and
Meg, and her results were absolutely staggering too. And so it's like, okay, we've just discovered something massive. Now, the stage that we're at, my team is actively helping 15 of our customers run these. And so we had one run last week. We have a whole bunch running next week. I mean, Debbie, this is the one that we ran this on Wednesday, right? Like just this last week. So, I'm literally like, we're building the airplane in midair and getting to show it off, which is just absolutely fantastic. But this is just an incredible, incredible way to sell art. It is absolutely the future. And what makes me more excited about anything else is I know more about the tradecraft of this than absolutely anybody in the world right now because I've shipped more of them than anyone else has. And my team is learning and we're teaching our customers and we're poking and prodding. And case in point, in Debbie's case, I was like, Debbie, and I don't even think she would care. So this is an artist that sold 105 pieces last year. Okay, she's she's doing all right this year. Prior to this sale that we ran, she was at 23 pieces on the year, and so we essentially out of thin air. It's not like this was a sale like for Black Friday or Cyber Monday or Mother's Day or something like that. Out of thin air, we generated 50% of her year's sales to date so far with one effort. That is no joke. There are not a lot of people doing that. I know there's not a lot of people doing that because I have access to
Yeah,
all their
that's a
data.
great thing.
Yeah. And so, it's
really
these
great.
types of things that we're teaching our customers to do that are literally changing the game. And it's like, we get beat up sometimes on like, oh, the transaction fees and like how expensive you are. Do you understand? I have an entire team that is just hacking on how to make your businesses better. Like no other website company is doing that, not even close, right? So,
Yeah,
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 I
that's
get
true.
I get fired up
Thank
on it.
you.
Yeah, thank you, Terry.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, my pleasure. Um, all right. Anyone else? Questions? Janine, you look like you're taking some notes there. Are you doing a little painting there? um, oh, awesome, awesome. But yeah,
can see
then
it.
anybody else have questions? What were you going to say, Joseph?
I was gonna say I couldn't see the picture, but yeah, just to reiterate what you said with Terry, it's like kind of having the wind at your back, instead of you guys. I mean, think about all the different tactics that Pat's mentioned and stuff like that. If you guys had to go figure that out on your own, it would take forever. There would be no time for creation at that point, right? You are really just running a business and, you know, running around trying to go mail prints and all these other different things. It's, you know, we want to offload as much of that, give you more like a path to follow that it's just way easier. That's why we say it's the wind at your back. Yeah, there is some of that hard work in there in the beginning learnings. You know, if there's new things that you'll see that we recommend here that you've never thought of, yeah, you're gonna learn that stuff a little bit. But once you do, you know, you get faster at it. You spend less time on it. Because not everybody's trying to take over the world, right? You just want to pay for the hobby or make a little extra. We get photographers who just want, you know, to pay for the next camera that they're going to buy for the hobby, and that's fine. You know, the calendar's there, the workshops are there. Do what you can, and like Pat said, we just ask that you do it consistently, right? If it's just a couple hours a week, that's fine. At least you're spending those 2 hours in the right place, right? There's so many other like social medias and different like things you could be doing. If you took all that and like said, hey, spend that time right here because this is what we know works, you're going to be way better off in the long run. So it's like building the right kind of business and having a plan of like what works and following that. It just again makes it a lot easier, a little more wind at your back to help you with getting things where you want them to be and consistency with sales.
That's for sure. Natalie, you were asking a question about marketing, which I think is interesting. If you want to turn your mic on, I'd love to hear what else are you trying to sell? Out of curiosity.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah,
on the phone here.
yeah, it's okay.
Yes, I was just thinking, what if you know, I want to sell coffee, or you know, every day you have some idea of something new.
Yeah.
That's not art, for example.
Yes.
Sometimes I think, you know, maybe cookies sell faster. Who knows?
Yeah.
But could we look at it like, you know, we're gonna attend a university
Yep.
For the investment, and it's gonna teach us marketing
Yep.
in general.
Yep.
That's the way to look at it, right?
100%. And we have a ton of
Yeah.
customers that are leveraging the skills that we've taught them to grow whatever aspect of their business is, right? And you know,
Yeah.
one of the things that I love too is like, you know, this is a hard business to make it in. There's not a whole heck of a lot of massively successful people at it, right? Like on a macro,
Mhm.
you know, when you look at how
Mhm.
many artists that there are out there. And this is really interesting. Let me show you this. So I bought this book and I really like it. I think it's an amazing book. It's called The $20 Million Stuffed Shark: The Curious Economics of Contemporary Art. Okay. And it sort of talks in depth to some stats. And I've got this quote in there, which I really, really love. I want to read this to you. It says, okay, artist by the numbers. And this is a quote directly from that book. The art market looks pretty healthy from the standpoint of a branded artist represented by a branded dealer, and okay from that of an artist represented by a mainstream gallery. What does the market look like from the standpoint of all the non-represented artists, or those selling through local or suburban galleries? Most of those artists see the high-priced art market only through the magazines and gallery opens and auction catalogs. There are approximately 40,000 artists in residence in London. There's about the same number in New York. So of the total of 80,000, 75, okay, out of the 80,000, 75 are superstar artists with seven-figure incomes. Below those are 300 mature, successful artists who show at the major galleries and earn six-figure incomes from their art. On the next level down are about 5,000 artists who have some representation, most in a mainstream gallery, and who supplement their income through teaching, writing, or supportive partners. And I sort of did the math, and it's like, okay, out of those 80,000 artists in London and New York, 6.72% of them have a profitable business, essentially. That's it. That is a pretty doggone low number. Now, what's interesting about this, though, is I take that same mathematics and I look at our customer base, and our customer base is actually doing better than that. It's doing better than what's represented in this book. But also, too, I love these businesses that have multiple different revenue sources, right? I always say, like, I've never met a revenue source I don't like. So a lot of times when you have some of these other ideas of things to sell and you can sell them, that's a fantastic way to go. Like, it's an amazing way to go. And we have customers that sell books, and we have customers that sell all types of different merchandise, and we have customers that sell live art teaching classes, and we have customers that sell well, pre-COVID, that used to sell tours in the national park where they teach you photography, right, or photo tours. Like, we have customers that sell courses on digital retouching in darkroom techniques and Lightroom techniques and all the various different aspects of photography. So You know, sometimes having some diversity, and I don't care what it is. I mean, you want to sell cookies? You can sell cookies on our site, right? You want to sell, I mean, anything. You can sell literally anything on our site. So yeah, there's that too.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. What else, guys? Any other questions? Can literally be about anything while we're here. Anything, Keith, Tom, Richard, Martin? I'm picking on all the quiet ones. That's what I like to do. Oh, Joan's back. I like it, Joan. I like it, Joan. What do we got? Oh, you'll need to unmute, Joan. Hit the mic icon.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's a sort of a maximum or optimal number of images on a website, whether it's best to sort of focus. I kind of have decades of work, and I love the idea of kind of making a retrospective on my website and being able to sell, access, show, etc. But I'm just sort of wondering about focus. I also do drawing, painting, and photography, but I haven't really sold the photography. And I'm wondering, is that too much on one website? Is it like too many things?
It's a great question. I love that question. There is absolutely a secret formula of images that you should have that we've managed to crack. No, I'm completely full of it. You will never know. There is a number. You will never know. I will never know. No one will ever know until you get the images up, you mark it, you see what kind of feedback you get and what happens. Let's take it out of art for a second. You are a chef and I'm a chef, right? And we're sitting down having a beer one day talking about how we both want to open a restaurant. And you're like, Patrick, what do you think is the ideal balance of items on the menu that I should have? And I'm like, Joan, I think it's probably 500 dishes. And you're like, that sounds like a lot. Maybe I think it's 50. Fantastic. We both open our restaurants. And guess what happens? Customers come in. And guess what happens? Customers come in and they order things. And then customers either come back or they don't come back, or they come back and they keep ordering the one thing again and again and again. Well, at that point, I have enough data to make a decision that tells me what that magical formula actually is, because I got feedback from real customers, right? I got feedback with the only thing that can actually answer that question for you, which is the transaction, right? That says, I like this stuff. So you don't know. You'll never know. No one can tell you. Absolutely no one can tell you. What you can do is put all that stuff up, start marketing for a year. At the end of the year, we're going to take a look at everything. We're going to say, this is really interesting. Either all of your customers almost gravitated towards this one style. Okay, well, now you have a decision to make whether or not that's your niche, or everything sold. Some sold better than others, but that's just everything got a little love, right? And so guess what? That's your work. You're going to sell all of it, right? But you'll never know. No one will ever know. This is like so many artists, so many photographers do this. Like, should I do this niche or should I do that niche? Should I do this style or should I do that style? And they sit there and they debate and they debate and they debate and they never take any action, and they change from one to another, and you don't have any feedback. You don't have statistical significance. How do you know? You don't know if that would have sold, right? And then not only that, it's a really healthy practice to be trying all those different things, because that's how you come up with the best ideas. Fun fact, Picasso, when he died, had 45,000 pieces unsold in his inventory. 45,000. Turns out the guy didn't like wills because he was terrified of talking about his own mortality. So he left it to one child, one bastard child. And I think they're still fighting over the collection. But 45,000 pieces. What do you think he was doing? He was trying to figure out what his magical formula was. And sometimes it didn't sell. He didn't care. He moved on to the next thing. And doing that, all that execution allowed him to find his hits that were, these world famous pieces of art. So you don't know what you don't know, but you got to do the marketing. You got to do the marketing.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's very natural. A lot of people feel that way, or that's a really common question, like where to start and what to do there, because most artists I talk to don't want to just create one thing. They want to do different things. So that's why it's perfect. You can get that out there and then be testing new stuff. My favorite story, random story. We had this photographer I talked to one time, and he said, I was looking at his website. He had this bunny picture. I was like, that's a great bunny picture. He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, I do all this effort. I go out early in the morning to take all these crazy pictures. And one day I was walking back to my Jeep. I just saw that bunny. I snapped a picture of it, and that's my bestseller. Who'd have thought? He's like, I've sold 100 prints plus of that thing. It was an afterthought after I was trying to take all these other pictures, and that's my best. So you never know. You just got to get it out there, and you got to let the market tell you. So.
Well said. Well said. All right, guys. Well, unless there's any other questions, I think we'll leave it there. Thanks for spending some time on a Saturday with us. I hope it was informative. Hope you learned some stuff. If you want a demo, we extended the sale to when? Monday? I mean,
Yeah,
my brain
good
is
through
scrambled.
Monday.
Yeah.
We do have some people right now that could walk anybody through. So if you want to throw your email in or put in a demo request real quick, we could have some people walk you through if you still have some time, or maybe a little bit later after lunch if you'd like, and then or even on Monday. But yeah, the deal's open for you through the weekend, and like I said, all the Art Business University courses are included right now for now for through the holidays. So good time. The value's just never been bigger than it is now.
Yeah, Joan, just anytime on Monday is fine. Joan was asking a question directly, but no pressure on any of that. But we run sales and we like to promote them. If you're ready, awesome. If not, come back and see us on another session. Love to hear how your business is going and what's going on. And guys, have a great rest of your weekend. It was a lot of fun. Great questions.